Okay, jumping into the playthrough, we have Futsu Suka, the caring chef, Para Dox, the reckless roofer, and Mio Ko, the artful healer. Let's get into it. All three settlers starting off share 7 perks. They all have Bloodlust, Brawny, Erudite, Fleet-footed, Robust, Whirlwind, and Wise. Futsu has Ravishing, Green Thumb, and Wicca for the bonuses, while Para and Mio share Industrious, 40 Winks, and Cold Hardy, just to make them a little bit easier to work with. And last note about group skills, I've made it so everyone in my party covers up to 15 of every trait, and all 3 have 20 in construction. That's just good to have so nobody fails and wastes your materials. And here we go into Footlandia Die Fünfte on very hard survival. We're doing a new life on the mountain, because I have not played mountain. Should be fun. And start off the same way by unlocking everything. Then we'll go through and do all the basic management of the people, changing their stance. Then we'll go through and change their basic job prioritization. And lastly, we'll set their work schedules. I'll use the wildlife feature to go ahead and get footy on some animal taming. Then I'll start a long, tedious process to excavate the enemy reinforcement zone so I can manipulate where the enemies are able to breach. I've queued up the chopping of some dead trees and gotten my basic initial floor plan laid out. I've assigned some storage on my new flooring and set up a basic table. I'll get the basic religious buildings queued up so we can get those needs met from day one. And we're quickly moving along with building the beds and the entertainment area on day one so people have a place to sleep. I get the first roof laid over the eventual shared chamber before nightfall on day one. The morning of day 2 starts off by getting a food storage area down and figuring out where I'm going to place the butchering table and campfire. I get a basic pen set up for the goats that I've been taming. We get the trough set up, and we've already got the goats established. I get my basic research table put down, and I will need to deforest the local woods near my settlement. At the end of day 2, I craft what will eventually be my library and put the research table in there. Night 2 is as peaceful as ever, with my colonists sleeping soundly through the night, lit by their brazier. Day 3 is filled with the hustle and bustle of daily demands, and Mio is now permanently in the library creating our research. And I get a roof queued up for the food storage, and of course create the dumping stockpile outside. Footy finally stops failing her training attempts, so we can actually get some animal domesticated around here. Additionally, on day 4, I go ahead and get the basic farm plot laid out. And Para finishes off the day by getting us our market stall. It is now time to add beams everywhere. And we send Miyoko, our trader, to have a very long conversation with Andrew the merchant to acquire us some goods. I continue to manually wall off some of the more tricky spots to prevent enemies from spawning in places I don't want them. And I complete the roof of our initial double longhouse starter build. More terraforming manipulation, and on some nearby high ground, I begin work on the first limestone tower. Most of day 6 is spent letting my OCD go wild and just clean this area up. Not long after getting to work on the perimeter wall, a new settler arrives. I have to interrupt my little kitty's sleep to start building some shelves in the food storage. And I finish off the perimeter wall with a nice double-door vestibule. My tower has progressed quite a bit since the beginning of the build project, and now I am laying the infinite trap where enemies will be forced to run. We have just over 1 day until the negotiator arrives, and our traps are looking pretty clean if I do say so myself. I also get to work on building a makeshift prison. This was the first time I played with prisoners in the game, so I wasn't too sure of what to expect on my first build. And of course, you get into the best part of any tower keep build, and that is meticulously planning your matriculations. A fierce battle over our new colonist Lota will ensue very soon. However, she is just snoozing away. I quickly send Para to demolish one final ramp as the battle ensues. Foot and Mio have been drafted up to the top of the keep. My archers will be prepared. The enemies have been funneled to exactly where I wanted them to go, and my archers open fire. One enemy down, and how quickly that raid has ended. Acton, his partner, is clearly confused and chooses to continue to assault. As he painfully climbs the ladder, he will inevitably reach his utter demise. And we've dealt the crushing blow. Our colony is at peace once again. We're done here. Take away the bodies. The town carries on, carrying out whatever tasks I assigned to them. And now I'm working on my cute little prison cells. Time carries on, and before we know it, it's day 3 of summer, and a new settler has arrived. I put my colonists to work excavating what will be the farm area so I can replace it with proper dirt. By summer day 6, I finally domesticated my first goat, so now I can have an assist with hauling. Summer of day 8, we get to work on the proper gardens. We get our flax in the ground, our carrots, our beets, our barley, red coron, and a few tiles for trees. Next to the prisons, I decide to add the other addition to the prison update, our gallows. With the rest of the summer comes much more meticulous building, getting our crafting infrastructure set up, and keeping the colonists busy. One project that never gets done is the terraforming of spawn manipulation. Autumn Day 2 comes with an abrupt group of bandits attempting to extort us, so we must prepare for battle again. Our enemy group of 5 spawns in and promptly attempts to breach our walls. My archers, Mio and Foot, have mustered on top of the keep way before they approach, so I decide to have a little excursion beyond the walls to pick off a straggler. These poor bandits stand no chance against my brawny, fleet-footed whirlwind traits, and my archers quickly catch up to the straggler. They are easily able to do a little micromanagement and kite one away, while the other 4 are unaware. Osgood, you are as good as dead. My archers have more than enough time to make it all the way back to the top of the keep, when the first bandit has begun hitting the trap line, and we quickly dispatch the first threat. Having no idea what happened to his comrades, the third bandit will soon fall. Miyoko quickly kills the 4th bandit, and the 5th attempts to flee. However, there will be no such thing allowed here. Now with that slight inconvenience out of the way, let's get back to the nitty-gritty. More terraforming. And when I mean more, I mean a lot more. Autumn of day 6, I begin a massive build project for all the new bedrooms that will be coming. And with new build projects comes more terraforming. All the terraforming. During our work on autumn of day 7, we have a new settler arrive. And they are not looking too good. And so, as the concreting of the world is satisfactory, we begin the limestone block flooring of the world. Sometime autumn day 9, I decide that the work on my keep has begun to slow. So, I begin to build expansions. By the 10th night of autumn, I have the new chambers set up pretty well, and most of the colony is now sleeping in them. On the 11th day of autumn, we are surprised with a new settler, which means a search party will soon come. While the negotiators here, I instead prioritize my time to build my Great Hall. Progress on the Great Hall has been fantastic and quick, but unfortunately we are interrupted by the raid. I quickly send Para to deconstruct the one entry point that I would not like them to have. Since some colonists still choose to go out and about the walls during a siege, we do the old tried and true method of blocking literally everything outside the walls. Once I barred the front gate to deprioritize them from entering, things were back to the books as usual. And our first marauder, Kyorl, is dead. I have my archers prioritize the enemy archers. And Para, my frontliner, finally gets his chance to shine as I send him into glorious battle. And before you know it, we have destroyed enough of the raid for them to withdraw. However, this time we have someone surrender, so I accept and take my first prisoner. I promote Futsu to be my prison warden. Alright, Beeldrick, you're my first prisoner. I prioritize his shackling. In the midst of the battle, my Great Hall was completed. Glorious. I continue on with more build projects, and I get my workshop underway. Now that my research has progressed to unlock the formal stove, I get to work on my kitchen. Once my kitchen is complete, I get to work on a formal storage room for all the food. Additionally, I lay the foundation for my new religious buildings. I will be moving all daily activities over to the new limestone brick area around the bedroom in the Great Hall. Almost through the first year's winter, and my blueprint is looking pretty good overall. I didn't realize this while editing, but Going Medieval is now in its full release version 1.0. This playthrough was from over a year ago, but if you like what you see, maybe check the game out for yourself, and I will definitely have more of this coming because I have 7 more chunks to edit. So until next time everybody, Foots out. Cheers.